Artists, creatives, and designers, welcome to Dream Aloud Art, the podcast where creatives are educated on seeing value in themselves and their creations. Presented to you by RTA, respecttheartist.com. I'm your host, fellow creative and friend, Electra B. Frederick. Let's go. What's going on, artists? What's good? What's good, fam? What's good? Okay, so yeah, it's 5 p.m. in Richmond on this lovely day. And generally, I aim to do podcasts a little earlier in the day, but you know what? It's all GOOD. Um, because I do what I want. That's kind of where I'm at with it, right? We do what we want. We're artists. So anyway, I'm just warming up my tone. I'm just feeling the energy with you right now. Some of y'all are chilling out for the evening by the time you listen to this. Some of you are on your morning drive. Some of y'all are doing your art right now. Some of y'all are writing. You know, we have a lot of writers who tune in. Some of y'all are getting some sounds laid out. You know, we have musicians that tune in because this is about artists, anyone who identifies themselves as an artist, a creative, a designer. Come on, somebody. And I'm very happy to announce that I have refilled my cacao. And I want to give a shout out to my mom because my mom actually bought me some cacao. And I was like the happiest person in the entire world because I love cacao. So there's that. I'm so serious, y'all. I'm like low key, high key, a spokesperson for cacao products, apparently, you know, cacao powder in all forms. I even have cacao in my smoothies. Let me just say that. So I have had quite a bit of cacao, and I want to remind y'all that it is a mood booster. I can't say that that contributes to me being in a good mood pretty much most of the time. I gotta say 85% of the time I am in a pretty good mood. But anyway, you know, it contributes a little bit, but not a lot of bit, right? All right, so yeah, you tapped on this episode because you wanted to hear more than just me giving shout outs to cacao and giving shout outs to my mom. You tuned in because you are curious about what is going to be discussed having to do with confidence or confusion. So, y'all know I take good notes because I'm a good student. And in order to be an effective teacher, you have to be a good student. You have to know when to open up or when to be open and learn and receive information. So, being a good student, I have my references right here with me. And the reference that I have is my ebook, which is called The Confident Artist: 6 Principles to Unleash Your Creative Potential. So, in my book, I have the definitions of confidence and the definition of confuse, right? So those are my references, all of that, my ebook and Merriam-Webster's dictionary. Okay. The reason why I reference the dictionary in a lot of episodes, even when I've gone live before, even during my speaking engagements, is to erase your thoughts and history with the words that I'm using and bring it up to current, like bring it up to the present moment. It needs to be current. You and I, when we're having this discussion, when we're having this talk, when we're having this chat, we need to be on the same page about the verbiage that we're using. So I'm not assuming that you are backing your understanding of whatever I'm discussing with your own history and ideas. Like, forget all that. Let's bring it up to the current, to the present, to the now. Okay. So I'm going to reference principle number 2 in my book. And again, a link is in the bio. It's in the bio. Oh my gosh, I'm talking like I'm on Instagram. The link is the link is in the description of this episode, okay? To go ahead and scoop up my ebook, The Confident Artist. So, principle number 2 is confidence over confusion. If you want to know the other principles, of course, you have to get the book, right? But confidence over confusion. So, the definition of confidence, according to the homies at Merriam-Webster Dictionary, the definition is a feeling or consciousness of one's powers or of reliance on one's circumstances. I'm going to read that again. Confidence is a feeling or consciousness of one's powers. Okay? So that means you need to be aware of the power that you have. Okay, the reason why I'm putting so much emphasis on this is because people tend to talk about confidence. Okay, whenever I've had these discussions with artists, they tend to go to, I need to get more confident. I have to get it. I have to get it. Like it's something outside of them. Okay. And I know that they gently use that just to get to the period in the sentence. They may not be thinking about the verbiage and what they're saying and the energy behind what they're saying, but I pay attention, and that's why I'm here. So, confidence is not something that is outside of you. Let's reference the definition again: a feeling or consciousness of one's powers. That means you already have it, you just have to become aware of it. Okay? So that's the definition of confidence. Now let's talk about the definition of confuse or confusion or being confused. Okay? Confuse is to disturb in mind or purpose. More specifically, we'll be discussing confusion and the confused mind. So, once again, confuse is to disturb in mind or purpose. Did you notice that? It's not just in the mind, it is the purpose that is being disturbed. It is the purpose that is being taken off course. Okay? So, those are the two definitions we are working with on this episode: confidence, confusion, or to be confused. All right? So, back in the day, okay? Back in the day, some of y'all know that I used to work in military grocery retail, if you will. And that is the commissaries. If you're familiar with commissaries, they are like a military grocery retail. That's the quickest way I can explain it. It is a benefit of the military. And so much respect to all of my listeners and anyone who has any knowledge or history or experience, absolutely, of serving in the military. I want to say thank you to you. And thank you for your service. We appreciate you for protecting our country and our citizens. So, when I worked for the commissary, I had so many different positions. In other words, to summarize it, I started from the bottom and worked my way up. Started from the bottom, now we're here. Started from the bottom, not a whole team here. Some of y'all know that song. If you don't, Google it. It's by Drake. It's called Started from the Bottom. So I literally started from the bottom of the totem pole, as they would say in the agency. So I came in as a summer hire at 17 years old, and I worked whatever they needed me to do in the store. I worked. I cleaned the bathrooms. I cleaned the warehouses. Eventually I got a forklift license. I was on the forklift. I worked, the pallet jack. I received shipments. I ran a cash register. And some of y'all will hear me reference my different positions and the things that I've done the things I did when I was working in the commissary, because I worked for that agency 18 and a half years. So it was definitely a very significant portion of my life. And I learned so much. I learned so much that I actually teach in the form, or I teach where it's relevant for artists, because I learned so much marketing. And then, moving into professional level, teaching, marketing, customer service, inventory management, like just a lot. So While I was working in the store, I eventually ended up having a position working in the produce department. And there was a coworker of mine who came in probably after I had been working in produce, which is, receiving fruits and vegetables and stocking fruits and vegetables and all of that. Okay. I know we have listeners across the world. So just giving a little more detail of what that means, what it means to work in produce. So, anyway, this coworker, mind you, I had been there for a couple of years. This new coworker came in, and granted, I'm sure she was seasoned. She had previous experience working in commissaries and previous experience working specifically in the produce department. However, her and I had the same job title. Okay, can I say that again? We had the same job title. All right. But the thing about her is that she thought she was the boss. She thought she was somebody's supervisor. She certainly wasn't mine, okay? Hello. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But she acted like she was my supervisor, and she acted like she was everyone else's supervisor, and she looked closely at the schedule and monitored everyone, asking us questions that was really none ya. It wasn't any of her business. But she acted like she was the boss. Now, granted, one can look at that as that's really wonderful. She's taking initiative. She is a leader. And I think that's great. I think I'm a leader too. I thought I was a leader back then too. But she had to play her position, you see, because we had the same job title. So one can look at that situation like, are you confused? Did you forget who you were? In the job title, respectfully, okay? We're talking about the job, the title, the purpose. This is intricately linked to you being an artist, a thriving, emerging, established, whatever verbiage you want to use, whatever point you're at. But I'm going to lean toward being a thriving and successful artist, because no matter what your walk is, if you keep leaning in that direction, it's bound to happen that it registers with you that you are a thriving and successful, highly confident artist who is, what did we say? What did we learn about confidence? You are becoming conscious of your powers. So, using the coworker as an example, who was not playing her position, she's playing a different one. One can say that she is possibly disturbed in her mind or her purpose. You see, her purpose was to play her position, not another one, not some other position, right? Someone could come to the department and literally not know who's doing what, because, or literally not knowing what she's doing because she has a certain title. That is the title that she signed up for and that the agency hired her for. However, she is not playing that role. So, as an artist, as a creative, as a designer, you are divinely gifted with your creativity. Like that's not like by accident. That's by design. It is your duty, it is your calling, it is the purpose of you being here. You have to play that role, you have to carry that position out. If you do not, much like my coworker that I used as an example, the perception could be that you are not conscious of your powers. The perception could be that you are disturbed in mind or purpose. That's like, and this is an example I've used many times, and I'll say it again. That's like taking 2 steps forward and turning around and going backwards, and then just changing your mind and then taking 2 steps forward and then changing your mind and then going 2 steps backwards. It looks like you're confused. It looks like, oh, she needs help or he needs help. I don't think they quite understand what direction they're moving in. because they have not made the decision to carry out the purpose, the function, the duty, the job. So I'm intentionally pausing so you can absorb this and take this in, take this message in. Becoming aware and conscious of your powers, which is what? Confidence, right? So becoming aware and conscious of your powers, becoming confident means making a constant decision to become aware. See, it's not like a light switch where you're in the dark and then you turn the light on and you're good. And no, 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 no. Life is like a constant dimmer that you have to decide which direction. The dimmer for a light, if you're familiar with what I'm talking about, a dimmer where you slowly but surely or consistently you're increasing the amount of, or you're moving this tab little switch up, you're consistently making the decision for the room to become brighter. That's becoming conscious of your powers. It's a constant decision, a constant decision. Like this isn't just a one time offer. Stop it. Stop. Halt. Okay. That's not it. When you decide not to embrace your powers, the real powers that you have, the natural powers. This is not, it's, we can say supernatural power, right? It's supernatural. Your creativity is supernatural. And that's giving love to the supernatural in you, right? But what I'm saying is that that's the real non-GMO, organic, gluten-free. That's the real version of you, the purest, the raw, the raw. Everything else is just extra stuff. If you can, you may need a minute to absorb what I'm saying. Okay, some of y'all just like take a time out. You may need a minute to absorb it. A little deep, little deep. You maybe weren't expecting all that, okay? But that's okay. I can't worry about what you expected. This is what's coming out. This is what the download is, okay? Really give light to your personal powers, your gifts, your purpose being here. I got, here's another story. I was giving a training and this young man, sometimes in the training, I want to know what questions they want answered during the training, like in the middle of like the training only lasts X amount of hours. What question would you like answered? One of the gentlemen said he wanted to know what his purpose is. And I'm like, oh, that's a tall order. Like, I'm wondering, like, do you want me to find that out for you, or like, I don't know, because I can't find that out for you, but I can ask certain questions that only you can answer. You're the one that has to have the answer, and so having to do with the purpose, because I know some of the reason I mentioned that is because I know some artists are. They still feel like they are diving into 20 different mediums, and they still feel like one of them has to be the sole medium that will bring them massive, intense, viral success. But that's for you to determine. Like, I would have no idea if it is just one or if it's several or if it's, but I honestly believe that we have multiple purposes for being here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't believe that like I do this one thing in this one way all the time and that is my only duty. No, you're also a friend. Being a good friend is part of your purpose. For some of you, maybe it's being a good father is your purpose. Maybe a good parent, maybe a good sibling. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are multidimensional, very dynamic beings, baby cakes. Like, that's all I got. So to just say that, well, I do this one style in this one way on this one size canvas on this, uh, you know, I do jewelry in this one way for forever and ever, amen. I do, ceramics in this one way. I personally don't think that that's impossible to me. That's like saying you only eat one thing for your entire life because you have to eat. Eating is a purpose, part of your purpose, because you have to survive. So part of your purpose is eating. Therefore, you just eat eggs. That doesn't even feel right. Like, does that even make like that doesn't even make mental sense. Like on the mental plane, like in the mind, like that doesn't even that's not healthy. Like how's that healthy? All you do is eat eggs. So on today's episode, now that I've talked about eggs, that would be a that would be amazing if I said that this was sponsored by like Eggland's Best or something. You're like, "What? Like how did we get to eggs?" But see, look, let's rewind. Confidence and confusion. So we ended up talking about eggs briefly there, right? And y'all know I don't do editing on these podcasts. Like it is what it is. We ended up talking about eggs because linking back to confidence versus confusion, when you're walking in your purpose, being dynamic is part of your purpose. So linking back to the eggs, having one kind of meal for the rest of your life is not part of you being a dynamic being. Your body needs other nutrients. So the world needs other aspects of you too, not just, the silk painter or the scarf maker or the like that's the only reason that you're here. You know, so I have to say that because sometimes artists need to relax the idea of what it means to find purpose or know their purpose. I personally, this is only based on my life experience. This is the only reason why I can say this is because I believe as long as you're willing to explore wherever you're being called to explore for X amount of time, then do that. Okay, like some of y'all know I did some silk painting just as an experiment because it looked really cool when other people did it. But when I did it, oh, the setup process was a headache for me. I was like, ooh, I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like it at all. I don't care how beautiful it may turn out. I don't like the setup process. That's part of the process, y'all. And I don't like that part of the process. It feels too heavy, feels too technical. No, when I'm ready to do a certain kind of creating, my body's ready to move in a certain way, my arms are ready to move in a certain way, my hands are ready to move in a certain way. And if I have to like build something just to get to the flow, no, I'm not going to do it. So confidence over confusion. That's what we want. We want to move forward with 100% certainty, which I didn't get into on this one, is talking about that 100% certainty because that's probably another episode. We want to move forward with 100% certainty, having that feeling and that consciousness of your own powers. That means you have to become aware. Hello? I'm talking to the real version of you, not the persona, not the one who's just trying to extract information. I'm talking to the energy behind your thoughts that is picking up truth in the vibration of my tone. That's who I'm talking to. The real you. So becoming conscious and aware of your power. That's what we want. That's what your heart deeply desires. Awareness, peace, acceptance within, like accepting the truth of who you are, not acceptance from other people, which is necessary to a degree. Finding community is what I'm talking about, but not acceptance as though my value and my worth is placed in your hands and you have to co-sign me in order for me to be valuable. We ain't talking about that, okay? No. So what did we learn about confused? That means to disturb in your mind or purpose. And we don't want disruption. When you're going from point A to point B, you don't want disruption. When I talked about the example of my coworker from back in the day who thought she was everybody's boss, but we both had the same job title, what we wanted as coworkers was her to simply do her job and not worry about trying to run us. Matter of fact, her acting as though she was a supervisor was more stress for her. Why would you want to do that? How about sticking to the purpose that you were called to carry out? It's easier that way. It's easier that way. So I hope that this episode was helpful to give you some perspective, maybe shift your perspective, and for some of you, change the trajectory of your life, because you're going to actually decide to keep walking in the direction of being more confident, because being confident is healthy. That's healthy. Don't get it twisted and add little sprinkles of arrogance. It's not what we're talking about here. That's not what we're promoting. We're talking about being more confident in a healthy way. That means recognizing your worth, recognizing that you are valuable, recognizing that you are the value. Come on, somebody, y'all know how to talk to y'all. You are the value. Player, you're the value. Oh my goodness. You are the value. So I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Y'all know that I do. Oh my goodness, I do. So much. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Stay up, stay positive. Once again, click the link in the description. Grab my ebook, The Confident Artist, 6 Principles to Unleash Your Creative Potential, because you got it. You got it already. I don't know why, you're thinking of somewhere else. It's in you already. You're looking for it. You don't remember where you placed it, maybe, but it's there. Trust. You find it when you keep walking in the direction of being more confident. You carry out the actions. All right, y'all. Peace, and I'll catch y'all on the next episode. Artists, creatives, and designers, it has been an honor and a pleasure to spend this time with you. I'm grateful for your encouragement, love, respect, and support. Follow this podcast and share this episode with another creative who needs to hear it. Your positive ratings and reviews are highly appreciated. Screen capture this episode, post it, and tag me on Instagram at DreamAloudArt so I can show the love in return. For more information on having an artist consultation with me or for being on the YouTube show for artist interviews, check the description on this episode or go to respecttheartist.com. That's RespecttheArtists.com. Much love to y'all. And remember, RTA stands for Respect the Artists. I'll catch y'all in the next episode. Peace from here to the Far East.